So for my last star craft, I made these little paper stars. They're kind of like beads. They start out with a strip of paper, and then when you squish them, they hopefully will pop up into beads. It's a little tricky to get them correct, and it might take you more than one try. But I'll show you how to do this if you want to try. So I had this leftover paper from making my lantern and my origami star, and I want to cut a strip off along the long side. And the size I want is, it's kind of the width of my pinky fingernail. You don't need a ruler for this. You can kind of guess, but here's this ruler has a lot of measurements on it, but this is 1/2 inch in here, and I'm not there. This is 1/4 inch, and I'm not there. Kind of in between those. If you make it narrower than I do, it will be a smaller star. And if you make it wider than I do, it will be a bigger star. So I'm going to just use my very best estimate of cutting to follow this line all the way up the long side of my scrap until I have this piece of paper. It's not perfect. That's okay. It will still work. So what I want to do first, starting at one end, I am going to take the bottom right corner right here, and I'm going to fold it up until it's touching here. I don't want it to be a little triangle. I don't want it to be a perfect square. It's going to go past that. It's going to go further out. Can you see this line I drew? So this corner, I want to go further out there. So here we go. I think this is going to be hard to see, but I'm going to fold it over. And the way I know when it's right is I can see that this, I'm going to put a piece of paper underneath so you can see this. The short end of my strip and the other end of it are about the same size. Can you see that? Then this is going to be one side of my star, and the base is going to be one side of my star. So here's my tracings around this shape. I had the short end of my strip, another end of my strip, and the way I can tell is when those look pretty even. And I imagine the line of the strip underneath like that. When that makes a pretty isosceles triangle, like this side is the same as this side, I know I folded it right. And then here's another side, and I'm going to just figure out that third one, the fifth one, actually. So once I've got this fold down, I now am going to do another fold, and it's going to look like this. So it's going to, when I do this next fold, it's going to make this into a pentagon shape. So here I go. When I do that fold, that's hard to see. If I hold this down flat and I fold my strip up, the strip matches that end that I had folded up at first. So it's following right along the same end right there. And now I'm lined up to do another fold right here. You can see the edge of my paper is right there, and I'm just going to fold right along that. When I flip it over, I'm ready to do another fold. I'm going to just follow the shape of my pentagon as I go. It's a little bit, if you get a little bit lost, sometimes it helps to hold this down and hold it flat over. So I'll flip, hold this down. I'm going to fold this flat over. It went to the left this time. Fold this down. Went to the left. So I'm just really trying to follow the shape of my pentagon over and over again. And my paper, I think it's really hard to see, isn't it? My paper will just keep following the shape of my pentagon until I get to the end. At the end, I have a little flap here, and I need to tuck my paper underneath. It looks to me like this one's going to be too short, so I'm going to go back to this side, and I'll use my scissors to trim this off. Okay, so now I have this last flap, and I want to tuck it underneath here. Tucked it right in. Put in as much of the extra paper as I can. Okay, so I have this little pentagon here. And now what I need to do is use my fingernails or use, I don't think I want to use my scissors, but I can use my pencil or maybe a ruler to help it see its shape. So the easiest way to do this, I found, was to use my fingernail, find the middle of a flat side, and to just make a little dent right in the middle of that side. And rotate and do it again. So I'm making a little dent in the middle of this side. And there comes the first point of my star. The next side, find the middle and make a little dent. Find the middle, make a little dent. And that just leaves me one side left. Find the middle and make a little dent. And with watercolor paper, this is pretty tricky. But hopefully it kind of popped itself up so it's like a little star-shaped bead now. So here's my strip. I'm going to try one more time. I'm folding this over. So this doesn't look quite right to me. I'll show you what I mean. Let's get in really close. This side here looks much longer than this side here. Maybe not much, but a little bit. So I know my fold isn't quite right. I'm going to move it over a little more and see if that and that look a little more even now. So I think I'm in the right spot. If I drew a line here, I can see my pentagon now. I can see the shape my pentagon is going to take. So I'm now going to take this edge of my strip and I'm going to fold it so it lines right up with here. There we go. So now we can see, I didn't do a perfect lineup, and that's okay. There's a little bit of messiness allowed in this. So I have my 5-sided shape now, and now I'm just going to keep folding over, following one edge at a time. I followed that edge. Now I think I'm going to follow this edge, right? Yep. This edge will get flat with here. Okay, this edge will be flat with my strip here. This edge will be flat with my strip here. I know it's hard to see with the light there. This edge here will be flat with this strip here when I fold it. I'm just following this exact fold that I have, so I'm going to fold right here. It can't go to the middle, it always has to go so that the edge matches the other one, and I'm alternating left and right. All you can see is fingers. Ah. All right, so I'm here at the end. I see that this won't really fold over very well, so I'm going to do another trim here. You can do this with other kinds of paper. If this one doesn't work out for you, it's worth trying it with like printer paper maybe, or origami paper, or whatever else you have lying around the house. So I tucked my end in here. You pull it out so you can see me tuck it again. I trimmed this, and now I'm going to tuck it in the fold of paper that's there. And now it's time. I'm going to use my fingernail and find the middle of this edge and just gently put a dent there. Gently put a dent. Find the next edge, put a gentle dent in the middle. I think this would work if you don't, yeah, that'll work with my pencil. Oh, this one, I don't know if it's going to work out right, but we'll try. I go all the way around and I just re-emphasize those folds in the middle of each flat side of my pentagon, and it kind of helps make my star form into a star. So there's number 2. All right. So good luck. I hope you have fun with these crafts and making them. And I hope you have a wonderful Sugar Plum Fair.